Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Gonzo, Boogie here again, back for another video. This is going to be my 2016 Christmas special video, and I wanted to wish everybody out there watching a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas, and I hope everybody is having a great Christmas time and enjoying the holiday season. This is one of my favorite times of the year, and one of my favorite things to do to get me into that Christmas spirit is watching Christmas movies, which I'm sure most of you guys also love watching Christmas movies around this time. So in this video, I figured I would show you guys my entire Christmas movie collection, and I'm going to start off by showing you guys my Christmas horror movies, which I actually don't have too many of, and then the second half of the video, I'll just show you guys all my regular Christmas movies, and I have a few Christmas specials too, like TV specials on DVD also, and VHS, so I got a lot of cool stuff to show you guys, so I'm just going to get this video started. And like I mentioned, I'm going to start off with the Christmas horror films. And I actually don't have any Christmas horror films on Blu-ray right now. There are a few that I would love to add to the collection. That new Black Christmas Blu-ray release by Scream Factory looks awesome. And also that Jack Frost Blu-ray release by Vinegar Syndrome. I would also love to add that to my collection, but maybe I'll have those in my video for next year. But let's get going on this video, and I'm going to start off with the DVDs here. And first off is Black Christmas. This is probably my favorite Christmas horror movie. This is just a really great slasher film, a classic, definitely a proto-slasher film too. This came out in 1974, so it came out like 3-4 years before Halloween did. And I really think that this movie is the one that should get a lot more credit for starting the holiday horror subgenre. And Halloween gets the credit, which it deserves because it really cemented that as a genre. But this is the one that really started it all, in my opinion. Without this film, I don't think we would have ever gotten Halloween, and we never would have gotten films like Friday the 13th and My Bloody Valentine. So this is just one of my favorites, and this is just a really well done, great film. I mean, it really sucks that this movie got a remake recently that was just horrible. One of the worst horror remakes ever. And just compared to the subtle, just creepiness of this movie, the new one was just so bad. Just so bad. Definitely let me know what you guys think of the remake of this movie in the comments, but I thought it was horrible. The original one, though, is one of the better examples of 70s horror films. Just a really great film here. Moving on, we have the Silent Night, Deadly Night 2-pack. This is the Anchor Bay release, the older Anchor Bay release, which is out of print and pretty hard to find. I know Anchor Bay re-released this on DVD and Blu-ray. I think was like sort of similar cover art, but not exactly the same as this. I really love this 2-pack. This is one of my favorite DVDs in my Anchor Bay collection, and just glad to have it in the collection. But the Silent Night, Deadly Night films are pretty good. I've only seen the first two. I know there's like 5 or 6 of those, which is crazy, which I'll have to pick up all the sequels eventually. I do have one on VHS, which I will get to in a minute. Let's get back to this. The first Silent Night, Deadly Night movie I think is really good. I think one of the best examples of 80s slasher movie. Really good, but it's just a really downer of a film. The main character in it, which is kind of the killer in the movie, you follow him throughout his life, and he's just been through so much crap in his life. Like, the movie starts off where his family gets murdered off by a bank robber dressed as Santa Claus, and it just cements this image of Santa being evil in his brain. And also, right before that, they were visiting his grandfather in like a convalescent home, and his grandfather, well, it wasn't doing too good. He was, sort of losing his mind or whatever. And the grandfather tells him that Santa is an evil person, and if you've ever done anything bad, he'll punish you. And then right after that, his family gets murdered by a robber dressed as Santa. And then after that, he gets sent to this like boarding school type thing, with really mean nuns that run it. And he's just been through so much crap. And then he gets like a job at this toy store, and that's a really cheesy part of the movie. It has like a cheesy song with a whole working montage thing, like 80s montage in it. It's pretty funny. And yeah, eventually, what happens in the movie is while he's working at the store, the guy who is supposed to show up to play Santa doesn't show up, and they throw the main character who has been through all that stuff into a Santa costume, and it just kind of makes him go nuts. And I won't ruin the rest of the movie for you guys there. And just a classic Christmas horror movie. I think one of the best out there. And Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, not so much. That was just a bad horror movie. I would say 80% of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is just rehashing footage from the first one. Like the main character in the second one is the little brother of the main character in the first movie, and he's in some sort of jail or mental hospital thing, and he's being interviewed by somebody, and he basically just recaps the whole first movie. And then the last 20 minutes is actually when the second one sort of gets good, when the main character of the second one, who's the brother of the main character from the first one, he goes on like a killing rampage, which is the classic scene of him doing the garbage day thing, which has become sort of like an internet meme thing, which is pretty funny. But I always love watching both of these around Christmas time. And even though the second one is a bit cheesy, I do like to watch both of these as like a double feature in one night. So cool stuff here. Awesome little 2-pack from Anchor Bay. Comes with like a booklet and a double-sided disc. Alright, let's move on here. And next up we have Gremlins. This is just a classic film. I wouldn't even say this is really a horror film, but it sort of is, I guess. It has elements of horror films in it, and it has elements of science fiction in it too, but all around it's just a really fun, like, adventure, science fiction story. Just everything about this is fun. Steven Spielberg produced this, and it has his seal of quality on it. Just really well done, this movie. I think who directed this? Joe Dante directed this one, and it was written by Chris Columbus, who's actually worked on a few other Christmas movies that I really like that I'll get to later in this video. Gremlins, what more can I say about this than it's already been said? Just a classic fun movie here. One of the best. Alright, that was it for the DVDs though. Like I said, I don't have too many Christmas horror movies in the collection right now. I'll definitely have to pick a few up. But I do have a couple VHS tapes, and like I mentioned, I have one of the Silent Night, Deadly Night sequels on tape. I have Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. I actually haven't gotten around to watching this yet. I picked this up probably during the summer, and I was planning on watching it this year when I did Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2, but I just ended up never getting around to it. But there's still a few days left before Christmas, so I might be able to squeeze this one in still. Then last for the Christmas horror films, and last for the VHSs for the Christmas horror films is Jack Frost, and this is the VHS tape with, like, you know, the holographic cover or whatever you want to call it, and I just love the cover art on this. Back when I was a lot younger, I used to rent this tape at the video store mainly just because I thought the cover was cool. I also used to rent the Uncle Sam VHS, which is also another holiday horror film. I'm sure you guys heard of that one. That had like a similar cover to this. I used to rent those ones a lot when I was a kid, so I really like this film. This is one of the only like Christmas horror films that I actually have some nostalgia for, because I did rent this one back when I was younger, and I do think that the cover of this is actually a parody on the Jack Frost like family film, because I think the VHS had like a cover like this too, but I can't really remember good. But just cool cover art on this. I know that the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray release has a similar artwork thing going on if you get the slipcover edition, which is awesome. I gotta try to track that one down when I pick this up on Blu-ray. But I mean, this is a cheeseball film. I mean, kind of bottom of the barrel type stuff, but I actually kind of like this one. Like I said, again, a little bit nostalgia for this film, but at the same time, it is just kind of a fun, cheesy film. Like, don't expect anything serious from this, like Black Christmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night, but this is good stuff too. But actually, before I move on to the other Christmas movies, there was a few other Christmas horror movies that I wanted to show that aren't really like Christmas horror films. Well, I guess so. Well, this one I want to show. I don't have a separate copy of it, which is why I didn't really want to show it with the other stuff. But I have Silent Night, Bloody Night on this like dollar store Killers collection DVD pack here. And that is sort of like a Christmas horror film. I remember I watched it last year, and I can't remember much of it, but I do remember it had some Christmas stuff going on in it. I think you can get like a better quality Blu-ray release of it or DVD release, but so far I only have it on this like cheap pack. And then this one, which isn't really a Christmas horror film, but I sometimes watch this one around this time of the year. This is The Abominable Snowman of the Himalayas. This is a Hammer horror film with Peter Cushing in it. And this, takes place in the snow, in the Himalayas, and it's got the Abominable Snowman in it. So this is one that I also like to watch around Christmas time too, even though it's not really a Christmas horror film. But alright, that was it for that stuff. So let's move on to the second half of this video, which is going to be me showing you guys just the regular Christmas movies that I have in my collection. And I actually do have a few Blu-rays to show here. I got a little stack of DVDs and a little stack of VHS tapes. So let's get going here. And I'm going to start off with my all-time favorite Christmas movie ever. And this is A Christmas Story. And this is a family tradition in my house. Well, especially for me and my mom to watch this every Christmas Eve night. And Christmas Eve and Christmas just wouldn't be the same in my life without this movie. So this is just a important movie to me when it comes to Christmas time. I have to watch this movie every Christmas. If there was one movie out of all of the Christmas movies that I have if I could only pick one movie to watch around Christmas, is what I'm trying to say, it would be this one. This movie reminds me of Christmas, and I've been watching this movie on Christmas Eve night ever since I was a really little kid. So this is one of the traditions that I've been doing for basically my whole life, is watching this movie on Christmas Eve night. This is just such a fun, unique Christmas movie too. If you guys haven't seen this one, definitely check it out. Just everything about this is just great, fun film right here. And in like a weird kind of fact about this is actually this movie was directed by Bob Clark, who also directed Black Christmas. So just weird that he hit both, like, all of the parts of the horror of the Christmas genre is what I'm trying to say. He did a Christmas horror film, which I think is one of the best Christmas horror films ever. And he also just did like a family Christmas film, which again I feel like is one of the best ones ever. Let's move on. This is the last for the Blu-rays, and I did sort of forget to mention, but this is a really cool Steelbook edition of this. This comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. This is sort of like a combo pack, and there was like a full series of these Christmas Steelbooks that came out last year. They had them at the FYE that I live near, and I think they also had them at like Best Buy and stuff. And Target, I know you can still buy these at Target and FYE. I actually saw some there last time I was at those two stores. But I have this one in the collection, and I also have Christmas Vacation. And this is one of my favorite Christmas comedies. Just, I think, one of the funniest Christmas movies. And this is, I've seen this movie before, but I just recently started to rotate this into my yearly Christmas marathon. Last year was the first year that I started to just watch this one every year. Like, this was one of those movies that I never made it like a thing that I had to watch it every year. Like, if it was on TV or something, I would watch it. But now this is one of those ones that I have to watch every year when I do my Christmas marathon. Just a really fun film here. This is actually my favorite out of the Vacation series. And of course, the stars Chevy Chase. And again, this is a Steelbook release that comes with the DVD and Blu-ray. These Christmas Steelbooks are really nice. I think they also put out Elf and Scrooge with Bill Murray, which I would really like to pick up that one. Alright, but that was it for the Blu-rays. Let's move on to the DVDs. So first up here is actually probably my second favorite Christmas movie, surprisingly, and this is Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just love everything about this movie, and this is one of those movies that came out when I was a really little kid, and I owned this movie on VHS when it came out. I actually think I might have gotten it as a Christmas present the year that this movie came out on VHS. And I just remember just loving everything about this movie, and I still love it. And this is one of those movies that I'm just really nostalgic for, because I used to watch this all the time when I was a little kid. and I still love to watch this one to this day. And this is like a cool edition in like a red case here. Really like that. I wish all my Christmas movies were in like red or white or green cases. But Jingle All the Way, one of my all-time favorites. Next up, we got Home Alone. I mean, this is just a classic. I'm sure everybody watches this one around Christmas time. Just a really fun film, and if you grew up in the early '90s, you grew up watching this. And this is just a classic. John Hughes, I think, produced this one. He wrote this too. It was actually directed by Chris Columbus, who I mentioned before with Gremlins. Yeah, actually, Chris Columbus. What did he do with Gremlins? He wrote Gremlins, and he directed Home Alone, and then he produced Jingle All the Way. So I just thought that was really weird. I don't know who this guy Chris Columbus is. I don't know if he's related to Christopher Columbus. Probably not. Yeah, he worked on 3 of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. So I guess you can call this the Chris Columbus trilogy here. I wonder what other Christmas movies he worked on. But alright, let's move on. Actually, that's it for basically like the Christmas movies. And next up, I basically just have like Christmas specials to show you guys. So first up here, this is my favorite Christmas special ever. Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the 50th anniversary DVD edition. Actually, last year I went to Walmart to pick up the Blu-ray of this, and it was gone, but they had the DVD copy sitting around, so I was like, yeah, I guess I'll pick that up. So I still do want to pick this one up on Blu-ray. I might have to get that next time I head up to Walmart, but I'm still really glad to have a nice edition of this. This is just one of the best Christmas specials ever. I mean, everything about this is just great. Boris Karloff does the voice for the Grinch. I mean, you can't get anything better than that. Boris Karloff is just one of the best actors out there, and he just does a great job with the Grinch voice. And also, I think it was animated by Chuck Jones, who is just one of the best animators out there. I mean, the animation that they were making around this time and around the time with the Looney Tunes and everything is just the best animation around. You just don't get quality animation like that anymore, which is really sad. Great stuff there, and this is the last for the Christmas DVDs, but I do have some tapes to show you guys, and this is the Garfield Holiday Special Christmas Collection, well, DVD collection, I mean, but this has the Christmas episode on it, a Garfield Christmas. It also has the Thanksgiving special, the Halloween special, and a few of the other random Garfield specials, and I love the Garfield cartoons, and I love Garfield. Actually, I've always been a bigger fan of Garfield over Charlie Brown, and I love the Charlie Brown Christmas special, so don't get me wrong, I need to pick that one up for the collection, but I always just try to catch that one on TV, you know what I'm saying? But I'll have to get the Charlie Brown Christmas special to add to the collection one of these days, because that really is probably, you know, after the Grinch, probably one of the best TV Christmas specials ever. Just such a good special there. But this is the collection of Garfield Christmas specials, and like I mentioned, I love Garfield. Always been my favorite, like, comic character like that, you know, from the funny papers. Always loved Garfield when I was a little kid. I used to draw pictures of Garfield all the time. And actually, back when I was younger, Garfield inspired me to make my own comic strip and cartoon thing, so I've just always been a huge fan. And the Christmas special is one of my favorite Christmas specials. Just a really heartwarming Christmas special here, and it's got awesome songs in it. Some of the best songs in any TV Christmas special ever. And you know, just one of my favorite Garfield Christmas specials too. Great stuff here. Highly recommend the Garfield holiday specials if you guys haven't been watching those, because they're just really fun. They're like from the 80s too, so the animation is really cool still. Alright, but let's move on to my Christmas VHS specials. So I guess I'll start off with this. This is the Garfield Christmas special on VHS. Just one of my favorite Christmas specials. And actually, these Garfield holiday special VHS tapes are kind of hard to find. So if you guys are ever at a thrift store and you see some of the Garfield holiday specials on tape and they're in good condition, definitely pick them up, because I know some of them go for like 20 bucks or more. It's good stuff there. Next up here, we got the Beavis and Butthead Do Christmas special. And I remember watching these Christmas specials when they premiered on MTV back in the day, like back in the mid-90s. I remember watching them with my brother, I think. And I think we even had this tape back when we were younger. But this is just classic stuff. If you guys don't know Beavis and Butthead is just one of the best, funniest cartoons from from the 90s. Just totally defined that generation. And the Christmas special is just crazy. It basically takes the Christmas Carol Scrooge story and just flips it upside down. Just so awesome here. Beavis and Butthead, just some of the funniest stuff around. And then last for this video and last for the VHS tapes is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Elf's Magical Christmas Special. And this is just some of the cheesiest Christmas special stuff you're going to get anywhere. And I love watching this. I mean, of course, I used to watch this when I was a little kid. I mean, Power Rangers was probably one of my favorite things when I was a lot younger, so I'm sure I had this tape. But this is just one of the cheesiest Christmas specials ever. It starts off with the Power Rangers. Zordon is like their leader guy, whatever. If you guys seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And they transport some little kids to the command center, which is a little bit creepy, not gonna lie. And then the little kids spend the rest of the special doing like arts and crafts with Alpha, who's like the robot on the front. So just extremely cheesy here, but very nostalgic. This really takes me back to being a kid and doing like arts and crafts in school when you're like, you know, in like first grade or kindergarten. Just nostalgia. Crazy nostalgia here with this Power Rangers Christmas special. But alright guys, that was it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up or leave a comment. And I hope you guys have a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And I'll see you guys next year.